August 23, 2024, 11:47 p.m. A Coast Guard helicopter circles in darkness above international waters. Below, four massive container ships push through Caribbean swells, their decks stacked with cargo. But these aren't ordinary freighters. They're floating warehouses of death, carrying 31,800 kilograms of methamphetamine and heroin. Combined street value, $9.2 billion. And protecting them? 7 armed military vessels commanded by officers who sold their honor to the highest bidder. Welcome to our channel. This is where we expose the operations that never make headlines, the federal agents who risk everything, the criminals who think they're above the law, and the moments when justice comes with overwhelming force. Let's dive in. It began 4 months earlier in a warehouse outside Houston. ICE Special Agent Linda Chen had spent 18 months tracking a phantom, a money laundering network so sophisticated it moved $400 million annually without leaving a trace. Bank transfers through shell companies in Cyprus, cryptocurrency wallets in Singapore, real estate purchases in Miami under fake identities. But every network has a weakness. Every criminal makes one mistake. In March 2024, Chen's team intercepted a single phone call. A cartel lieutenant bragging to his mistress about the biggest shipment ever. He mentioned a name. Almirante Carlos. Admiral Carlos. Not a codename. A real person. Within 72 hours, Chen identified him. Admiral Carlos Mendoza, retired Venezuelan naval commander, now security consultant for international shipping firms. Translation: he sold military protection to drug traffickers. Here's the terrifying part. Admiral Mendoza had recruited 7 active-duty patrol boat commanders. They'd take their vessels, their crews, their weapons into international waters and escort cartel shipments. The Venezuelan government either didn't know or didn't care. Have you ever discovered something so corrupt it made you question everything? Drop a comment if you've ever witnessed systemic betrayal like this. Agent Chen briefed ICE Director Alan Foster. Within hours, the case was Joint Task Force level. FBI, DA, Naval Criminal Investigative Service, Coast Guard Intelligence. The operation was codenamed Broken Admiral. They needed proof. Not just intelligence, concrete, courtroom-ready evidence of military personnel actively protecting drug shipments. Chen volunteered for the deepest undercover role of her career. She assumed the identity of Ana Morales, a corrupt logistics coordinator offering her services to Admiral Mendoza's network. False background, fabricated criminal history, references from ICE informants already embedded in trafficking organizations. It took 6 weeks to get a meeting. When it finally happened, it was in a restaurant in Willemstad, Curaçao. Admiral Mendoza arrived in a white linen suit, gold watch, confident smile. He looked like a man who had never faced consequences in his life. "You come recommended," he said in Spanish. "But I need assurance you understand discretion." Agent Chen played her role perfectly. "Discretion is why your shipments arrive safely. My people don't ask questions. They just count containers." Mendoza smiled. "Then we'll do business." Over the next 8 weeks, Chen recorded everything. Meetings, phone calls, encrypted messages. Mendoza bragged about his untouchable Convoy system for cargo ships, 7 patrol boat escorts, routes planned to avoid American naval patrols. The next shipment was scheduled for August 23rd. Chen transmitted the intelligence to FBI headquarters. Assistant Director Robert Hayes made the call: intercept and arrest everyone involved. But there was a complication. The patrol boats were armed. Deck-mounted cannons, heavy machine guns, possibly shoulder-fired missiles. If they refused to surrender, federal agents would be outgunned. Director Hayes authorized military support. USS Michael Murphy, an Arleigh Burke-class destroyer, would shadow the operation. just in case. August 23, 10:22 p.m. 92 nautical miles northwest of Aruba. The convoy moved through calm seas. For container ships in diamond formation. 7 Venezuelan patrol boats circling like sharks. Aboard USCGC Bertholf, FBI hostage rescue team leader Mark Sullivan reviewed the tactical plan with his team. 26 federal agents, ICE operators, DA tactical specialists, Coast Guard boarding teams. Their mission: board the cargo ships, secure the crews, seize the contraband. Clean, controlled, by the book. But Sullivan had read the intelligence on Admiral Mendoza. This wasn't a man who surrendered easily. Expect resistance, Sullivan told his team. These patrol boats have military-grade weapons. If they engage, we respond with overwhelming force. No hesitation. Would you board a ship knowing 7 armed military vessels are protecting it? Let us know what you do in the comments. At 11:31 p.m., 3 Coast Guard cutters, Bertholf, Kimball, and Midget, broke from their holding positions. Formation tight. Speed increasing to 18 knots. They'd been tracking the convoy for 6 hours. Now they were making their move. Admiral Mendoza stood on the bridge of the lead patrol boat, watching radar returns. He saw the American vessels approaching. He smiled. "Let them come," he said to his officers. "They won't risk an international incident." He was wrong. 11:47 p.m. Bertholf's forward searchlights blazed to life. 8 million candle power flooded the lead container ship. Every detail visible: hull number, crew on deck, cargo container stacked 4 high. Loudspeakers boomed in Spanish and English. United States federal agents. You are ordered to stop engines immediately. Prepare to be boarded. Failure to comply will result in the use of force. The container ship's captain grabbed his radio. Almirante, they're here. Admiral Mendoza's voice crackled back. Maintain course. My boats will handle this. The 7 patrol boats surged forward. Engines screaming. Bow waves cresting. They formed a wall between the Coast Guard cutters and the cargo ships. Gun mounts swiveled toward the American vessels. Agent Sullivan, watching from Bertholf's bridge, saw the patrol boats' hostile positioning. He grabbed the tactical radio. All units, weapons hot. They're moving into attack formation. At 11:51 p.m., Admiral Mendoza transmitted on open frequency in English. American vessels, you are interfering with legitimate commercial traffic in international waters. Withdraw immediately or face consequences. Director Hayes, monitoring from the FBI's Operations Center in Washington, responded personally. Admiral Mendoza, this is FBI Assistant Director Robert Hayes. You are protecting vessels carrying illegal narcotics. Surrender your boats immediately. This is your only warning. There was a pause. Then Mendoza laughed. Actually laughed. You have no authority here, Director. Go home. At 11:53 p.m., the lead patrol boat opened fire. Not at the cutters. At the water 100 yards ahead of Bertholf. A warning burst. 30mm cannon shells churned the ocean into white foam. That was the line. Bertholf's 57mm Bofors gun locked onto the attacking patrol boat. Agent Sullivan gave the order. Return fire. Disable that vessel. The Bofors roared. 4 rounds in rapid succession. The shells struck the patrol boat's forward deck. The first 3 destroyed the gun mount. The 4th penetrated the wheelhouse. The boat veered hard to starboard, trailing smoke. The other 6 patrol boats opened fire simultaneously. Tracer rounds streaked across the darkness from multiple angles. Shells slammed into Bertholf's superstructure. Metal sparked. Electronics shattered. 2 Coast Guard crew members took shrapnel wounds. Kimball and Midget returned fire with their deck guns and .50 caliber machine guns. The night erupted in muzzle flashes, tracer fire, and the roar of naval cannons. This wasn't law enforcement anymore. This was combat. Think about the Coast Guard crew members in that moment, trained for search and rescue, now fighting a naval engagement. Share your respect in the comments for these warriors. USS Michael Murphy had been monitoring from 15 miles east. Her captain, Commander James Peterson, watched the firefight develop on radar. Federal agents were taking fire. Rules of engagement were crystal clear. Weapons control, lock all hostile vessels, Peterson ordered. Prepare to engage with Harpoon missiles. Murphy's Aegis combat system calculated firing solutions in seconds. Distance, speed, sea state, wind, every variable processed. At 11:58 p.m., Peterson transmitted, "FBI Command, this is Murphy. Request authorization for missile engagement." Director Hayes responded immediately. "Murphy, you are weapons free. Neutralize those patrol boats." 2 RGM-84 Harpoon anti-ship missiles launched from Murphy's deck. Rocket motors ignited. The missiles climbed to 600 feet, then dove toward their targets. The patrol boats detected the incoming weapons too late. Their outdated radar systems couldn't track missiles moving at 550 miles per hour. The first Harpoon struck Admiral Mendoza's patrol boat amidships. The 488-pound warhead detonated inside the hull. The explosion was catastrophic. The boat broke apart. Fire climbed into the night sky. Admiral Mendoza never made it off his bridge. The second Harpoon hit another patrol boat below the waterline. The blast shattered the vessel's keel. She sank in under a minute. The remaining 5 patrol boats immediately ceased fire. White flags appeared. Engines cut. Crews on deck with hands raised. The fight was over. By 12:34 a.m., federal agents controlled all 4 cargo ships. FBI and ICE teams breached cargo holds. And there it was, 31,800 kilograms of methamphetamine and heroin. Industrial-scale smuggling. $9.2 billion in poison. But the real victory was on the captured patrol boats. Logbooks. Encrypted communications. Payment records showing $17 million in bribes paid to 7 Venezuelan naval commanders over 14 months. Agent Chen, watching from the operations center, saw justice delivered. Arrests began within hours. 7 Venezuelan patrol boat commanders detained by international authorities. 11 cartel operatives arrested across 3 countries. $240 million in cartel assets frozen. The trafficking network that moved $400 million annually dismantled. Admiral Mendoza's empire collapsed in one night. Operation Broken Admiral proved something critical. Corruption has consequences. Military officers who betray their oaths, who sell protection to cartels, who believe they're untouchable, they're wrong. When federal agencies coordinate, FBI, ICE, DA, Coast Guard, Navy, no criminal network is beyond reach. The agents who fought that night didn't do it for recognition. They did it because $9.2 billion in drugs was heading toward American streets, toward communities, families, kids. What's your take? Should the U.S. have engaged those military vessels? Or was there another way? Drop your thoughts below. We read every comment, and your perspective matters. If this story showed you the real war on drugs happening right now in Caribbean waters, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. We've got more untold operations, more hidden heroes, more truth coming your way. Share this with anyone who needs to understand that America's defenders are out there, in the dark, in the danger, standing between us and those who destroy our communities for profit. This is real federal law enforcement. This is the hidden war. And we're bringing you every story. Stay aware, stay engaged, and we'll see you in the next operation.